I want to start off by introducing myself. My name's Maya, and I want to dedicate this to Katie Mayer. She was the women's soccer team goalie, and she recently took her own life, so I want to dedicate this speech to her. Anyways, my name's Maya, and I'm a student athlete. I play 2 sports. I play volleyball and lacrosse, and I also play a club sport, and I manage a team in my off season. Growing as a player is realizing the importance of mental health, because it is so crucial to every student athlete out there. Growing up, I was always told, mostly as a joke by my mom, that there's no crying in baseball. And if you are over the age of 20 or have a mom who tries to raise you as a feminist, you know exactly what that is. But if you're not a part of that really oddly specific group, you don't know what it's from. It's from a movie called A League of Their Own. It's about women playing baseball during World War II for the country's entertainment while the men are away at war. And in hindsight, the quote is there in the movie to say that women are emotional and can't handle the stress of baseball, but it really had its impact on me growing up. I would suck it in every time. I'd stick it out, and I would suck it up. Every time I got hit by a softball, or my last pre-rookie season game, it was the last game, I was the last runner, and at that point in your little league career, when you're the last runner, you just go all the way through to home base, no matter if you get out or not. You just keep running. And we had just learned how to slide, and I slid into home base at full speed, except I tumbled forward and did a somersault over first base, and I scraped up my entire right arm. And I didn't cry, I kept going, because that quote played in my head over again, over and over again. And even in my worst states, it would play in my head because my mom would always say it to get me and my brother to laugh anytime we came home a little teary-eyed. Injuries, emotional stress, and physical strain put student athletes at a higher level for anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. It is so difficult as a student athlete to realize when you are hurt because there's such a stigma around it, and student athletes don't get the opportunity to talk about it. So that's why I'm up here today. I wanted to talk about this because I'm struggling with my own mental health, or I was recently. It's been so difficult losing the love for the sport that I've always played because you wrap your personality and your whole self around it because that's what you do. You play a sport. You put your entire being into it. And recently, that was volleyball for me. I've played volleyball ever since middle school. I stopped softball to play volleyball, to play club, to continue playing, and it's gotten to the point where it's not enjoyable for me anymore. Volleyball has become difficult to go to practice, to drive the 30 minutes to Castroville, to continue playing every day. But I still keep going because my family has made sacrifices, I have made sacrifices, and so many student athletes fall into this category where they keep playing past the point that it's enjoyable because their family and their friends and so many other people in their life have made sacrifices for the sport that they love or they used to love. Now, depending on your level, you can almost guarantee that someone around you is struggling with your mental health on or off the field because, get this, everyone struggles with their mental health. 48% of female athletes, collegiate athletes, have reported signs of anxiety, and that's just the people who are willing to talk about it. 35% of pro athletes have a mental health crisis in their career. Now, being able to realize when you need help with your mental health is crucial and such a game changer for so many athletes. And athletes, like I said, will wrap their personality around the sport they play. And this pressure can lead athletes to put everything aside and succeed and win. They will put their sports goals above all of their other needs, and it increases the difficulty of talking about mental health as a student athlete. Now, college has the worst record when it comes to mental health. Studies have found that mental health concerns are 150 to 250% higher than they were historically reported, and this is all pre-pandemic. It's gotten worse since. 1 in 3 student athletes have sleep difficulties, 1 in 4 have a sense of loss, and 10% feel depressed to the level that makes day-to-day life difficult. Now, you're probably looking at me like, Maya, why are you telling us about college? You're not in college. You probably won't continue to go and play sports in college. It's because the high school level is worse. 1 in 5 high school student athletes below the age of 18 will struggle with their mental health. The National Athletic Trainers Association did a study that said student athletes are more likely to feel negative emotional states than their non-athletic peers. Students whose identity, again, get wrapped in their sport, their performance gets associated with their self-worth. And like I said, I fall into this category, and it makes it so difficult to continue to play. Like I said earlier, I managed a boys basketball team in my off season, and it was one of the best times of my life. It was so fun, and although they were quite a rowdy bunch, they were super fun to hang out with and to practice with, and it really made me want to continue playing a sport that I love because I saw the dedication they put into that sport, the work and the drive they had for that sport. Now, by the end of the season, they were all ready for their next sport to continue on, but seeing that really made me want to continue, and when that season ended, I had what some people will call postseason depression. It made me really sad to not be able to continue with them, to continue watching them grow and play, and I got wrapped up in volleyball, and I had a bad practice one day where I didn't hit a single volleyball over the net. It was a 2-hour-long practice. I drove 30 minutes to my practice facility, and I didn't hit a single volleyball over the net the entire 2-hour practice. That's when I knew I couldn't do it anymore. I cried the entire 30-minute drive home, and I came home, and we had relatives over, and my mom came in, both of my parents came in, and they comforted me, and that's when I knew that something was wrong, and they helped me get through that. And so many student athletes don't have a supportive outlet like that. I was lucky enough to have that and have amazing parents that are here tonight that helped me through that. But I want to open up, and I want student athletes to be able to open up and feel comfortable opening up to their peers, their parents, anyone or a coach, a mentor, because your mental health is so important to everyone and even yourself. Because with your mental health, we can't see when you're hurt. It's like a concussion. When you get a concussion, we can see symptoms, but we can't tell how much you hurt. Mental health is very similar, and the bottom line is that if you're struggling with your mental health, there is someone out there who cares for you. Because even if you think that nobody cares about you, I care, because I want you to continue and strive through everything you do in life and to continue playing your sport at your highest level. Thank you.